played golf, but I don't. You do now. Your hips go that way. I want you to squeeze a ball in between your knees and practice turning your hips, keeping the weight on the inside of your right shoe. Because you sway. Your right hip moves laterally. Your weight goes to the outside of your right shoe. All right, and don't worry. I mean, basically, Brian, if you did an exercise where you crossed your arms over your shoulders, placed your right knee over your right ankle with stepping forward, watch my right knee. When I turn my trunk, you see how that stays stable? That doesn't happen in your swing. Your right knee goes this way, and your right foot rolls out. All right. So that's the first thing. But that may not be something you can do right away. All right, you see that yellow cone area? Your club is not in that cone area. It's outside it. You're taking the club outside and you're coming down too steep. So I would bet you either hit a pull, your divots are all going way to the left, or you slice it. Yeah. Right. So we're going to get your hands.
So if I'm steeper, that's why I can hit an iron better, short iron better.
Yes. Yes. So you start your downswing by turning your shoulders, and when you turn your shoulders instead of tilt, your hands work away from your body. So in this case, your hands, if we got your hips to shift and your arms to drop by getting your right shoulder to go down, instead of rotate your shoulders, the club would drop in the inside of this cone area. But you're turning your shoulders, so you start your downswing instead of with your hips. If you threw a baseball, your lower body's in front of your upper body. If you start a downswing, you got to push from the ground. You got to get your weight to shift before your arms move. So one of your exercises is standing here, and what am I doing? I'm moving my hips. Am I moving my hands? Am I moving my shoulders? No. So that's a little exercise I want you to do, which I'm about to send you. I call it the hip twister. Your wife will think you're dancing for a living or something. Yeah, so here's this hip twister. Turn back, shift, shift, step, shift, shift. Your weight's moving forward toward the target. Now, I'm not advocating you do this right now. I'm telling you this is something you have to practice.
Right, no, I'm trying to understand. Sometimes it doesn't move. So in other words, don't move, but my downswing, you're saying it's the start of the downswing.
You're going this way.
Right.
You're starting with your shoulders, right? And you're going to start with your hips. So at home, I want you to get in front of a mirror and just practice moving your hips without moving your hands or shoulders. Yep, shift your hips. Shift, yeah, that's it. So that's not what you do. You start with your shoulders. So your first move is, and you can see it right here, watch. When you get to right here at the top, watch the first thing that moves right there. See that? Right. That's not moving. Your hands move before your hips. Now, when you watch tour players or pros, that's the exact opposite. What happens in their swing, and for you to know this is one thing. For you to practice it, that's quite another. And so, what's a sidearm toss look like? Watch my legs. What just happened? My arm is going back. My hip is going forward. That's what you do in a golf swing. It's a toss. It's an underhand throw. That's how you play golf. Now, how does that look in slow motion with a pro? I'm trying to get a... Right there. Right. So the hips go forward as the arms finish the backswing. We call that coactivation. You got two opposing forces moving in opposite direction. That's right. That's right. Now, he's going to shift forward before he starts to spin. Now he's starting to turn. But that shift is what I'm talking about. Now, turn right there. Shift. Shift. So the hips, they first move forward before they start to spin. All right. Now, how is that going to help your game? We're going to flatten your backswing. Now, what does flatten mean? That means you're going to think of a merry-go-round. that way, and then down is going to be much easier. What you're doing is going up and not going around. So your hands, yeah. I want you to think of trying to swing your right hand over your right shoulder. Yeah. Well, further back, but yeah. So think of this, Brian. Now everything I'm saying is recorded, but if this is a wall, right, and your butt's on the wall, I want you to try to reach back and get your hands to touch the back of the wall. Now you're not going to do that without moving your head because you probably don't have the flexibility, but basically I'm telling, watch my left arm. Watch my left arm. Yeah, right. I want you to go around and not up. Now here's the theory. It's not a theory, it's a fact. Your hands, if I draw a line to the ball, your hands are going to follow that line. That's a fact. Watch. Okay. Now, if your hands are right here, let me just erase all these lines. It's a simple fact. If your hands are here, that's going to be your approach angle. If your hands are here, that's going to be your approach angle. That's too steep. So by putting your hands lower and behind you more, your attack angle is going to be shallower.
My hands are above my shoulders. So you need to be more
correct.
shoulders.
Right. So let me show you Zach Johnson, who's your kind of going to be the guy you're going to try to emulate.
He's a small guy.
He's a small guy. He's 5'9".
Corey Payton was my hero, but he's kind of fallen to that.
Yep. Well, he's on the Champions Tour Champions. There. All right, now. See where his hands are, right? The distance his hands are from his head. His hand's behind his right shoulder. If we drop a line, hold on. If we drop a line from right here, his hands are behind his right heel. Are your hands behind your right heel? Nowhere near it. That's what I'm talking about.
And that would help my driving.
Correct. Well, that's the reason it has to happen. Because guess what? You can't drive the ball with this swing because you're going to chop it, pop it up, all kinds of stuff. Because your attack angle is just way too steep. And your attack angle is based on your backswing position. So we got to get your hands here. And now we're going to go away. See that yellow cone? That's going to be your attack angle. Alright. So your goal, put your butt against the wall, 10 minutes a night. Swing your hands and touch the wall. Now you're not going to get to the wall, but you're going to try to. Pull your lead arm across your chest and get it back there. That's it.
But touch it about the shoulder height?
I want your left arm to stay connected to your upper arm. Your lead arm is going to stay connected to your upper chest. And watch, as I turn my shoulders and I keep it connected, where's my arm going? It's got to go low and across. But it doesn't disconnect here.
No, I'm talking about when you're against the wall, though. You said
touch.
The wall.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it this height.
Yeah. Low. Right about, just about the top of your shoulders. About as far up as I want it to go. Yeah.